I can see why they don't make orange Coke anymore, if they ever did. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am live. And there's only a me watching. And my mouse is acting weird. Besan Leo, hi. Have you been here before? What's up, bro? Green. My favorite color is green. I think I've commented on a couple of videos, though. All right, bro. I mean, the more the merrier. What about music? Are you familiar with, I think it's Land of Confusion by Genesis? Handlebars by the Flowbots? Re Your Brains? Brains. No, I haven't heard of any of those. Okay, so what's your favorite music, bro? Wah wah. Um, what is wah wah? Okay, wah wah is a song. Bluegrass. Oh, dear, seriously? My work is calling. I'll be back. That was weird. Bluegrass, huh? Ever listen to Creedence Clearwater Revival? Nathan Russell, hi. What's up, Nathan? My work just called me and told me that the shift way up in the mountains with no place to relieve oneself has been secured, so I don't have to go there anymore. Isn't that wonderful? There are days like today. This looks like the guy on Pawn Stars. Which guy on Pawn Stars? Because I feel like that's a burn somehow. Do I look like the bald guy on Pawn Stars? Or the painfully old guy on Pawn Stars? So you guys are saying I look like the emo guy on Pawn Stars. I've never really been a Pawn Stars guy. I think somebody commented on one of my videos that I looked like Hodor, but I never watched Game of Thrones, so I just have a vague knowledge of who Hodor is. If any of you guys are wondering, the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire are still burning. What was the comment guy left? I don't think he knew much about Game of Thrones either. And here's another thing is that every now and again I pull up something and there's like, some hot chick in a video, but I'm live streaming, so I can't really watch that because it might get me copyright bounced. Okay, so here's the comment by a one Dylan Larch. Not trying to make a joke, but is this the guy from Cart in GOT? So I don't know what the guy from Cart looks like. Bro, do you know Ollie is a Brawl Star finally? I don't know what that means. Okay, it's not Karth, it's Quarth, I think. And I don't think I look anything like this dude. Because he's black. Maybe they mean the fat white dude. Ugh. Swell Tarly is another fat person on Game of Thrones, and I honestly think I look nothing like him. You kind of look like Corey from Pawn Stars. Brutal Impact. Yes, okay. So, Brutal Impact, this is my question. Is that a good or a bad thing? Because isn't he the dumb one? Brutal Impact. I don't know. I don't watch it. Yeah, I don't either. Nathan Russell, stop being rude, guys. Look, Nathan, um, I'm used to it. I'm a security officer. Rudeness is just something I have to learn to live with. So it's not a big deal. You know, when I became a security officer, which was last century, I'm not kidding, uh, was considered. Oh dear. Okay, Caramel is wanting out. He has to do this during the live stream. Let me go get him. Sword hates to be snuggled. Ah, Fade. I was compared to uh, Hardy's Bronson at my little sister's wedding recently. I don't think so. I'm just bald with a handlebar mustache. She hates to be snuggled. Yes, Fade. Given your political beliefs, I'd be surprised if you had all your teeth. Isn't she just the prettiest thing in the world? She hates this, by the way. This is the sword. She's going, no, you're snuggling me. You're snuggling me. No. See her ears go back like that? She's feeling very defensive. Oh, yes. Isolde hates to snuggle. She just hates to snuggle. But I love to snuggle her so. Isn't that right, Isolde? Uh, what does politics have to do with personal hygiene? Um, the lower your economic status, the greater the likelihood that you are missing teeth. You are also more likely to be missing teeth if you are a conservative. Why this happens exactly is unclear. Whether there is a relation, we don't know, but there is definitely, or there is a relation, possibly not a correlation. So it may just be a coincidence, but it's just one of those things that poor dentition is more likely in a red state. Incidentally, I had an MRE last night and it had orange flavored drink powder in it, and I put that in my Coke, and it is weird. It's not good. The MRE orange powder doesn't dissolve well, and if you read the instructions, if you're drinking Clint, what's up, Richard? What's up, bro? I mean, sounds like you've been having some rough business lately. Oh, something else you should know, Clint. One of my other channels is Random Street Theater. So you've been seeing comments from me just a little bit, but I got through it. Yeah, I mean, real sorry to hear about your friend, how he's doing. But keep us updated. Thoughts and prayers, bro. It's one of those things. In an emergency, you show me somebody with his guts on the wrong side of his skin, I know exactly what to do. Long term illnesses, a lot harder for me. One thing to tell you, even though you don't know Ollie, he's a cool rapper. Okay. And the music world is vast, bro. Nathan Russell, one thing to tell you, uh, Fade. So, do you just think everyone who isn't a part of your in group as bad guys? No. Um, you know, the thing about politics and world events in general, and why so much vitriol? Sweetheart, no touching the keyboard. Yes? Look, dude, politics has become a hornet's nest in the last couple of years. And whereas one of the slogans I put out there is, let's make hate un American. It's like one of my closest friends, her name is Cassie, and I have a blog named Letters to Cassie because I started that blog writing letters to her. And she's a Trump supporter. And it's just the QAnon esque things that were coming out of her mouth were so bizarre that I just can't imagine why anyone believed them. I mean, I know why Trump was elected. Trump was elected because people wanted a regime change, and they got one. But you have to understand, to me, most of the politics out there, people that don't agree with me haven't done enough research, and I change my mind when I do research. So, the greatest war mankind will ever fight is one against ignorance. Clint, Baron, there is a good and evil in every man's heart. It depends on which one you feed. The most is which one that rules you. Yeah, I mean, there's an old Native American expression, inside of everyone is a battle between two wolves. One is good and one is evil. And, the one that wins is the one you feed. Fade. Trump was elected because we were tired of being a joke on the global stage. Fade, you're aware of the fact that Trump is a joke on the global stage. People are laughing at us because of him. I mean, you know, that's that thing that people seem to not understand. We have tape of world leaders laughing at us because of Donald Trump. We have tape of people all over the world doing Trump impersonations. It's like one comedian, I forget which one, joked, the only person that doesn't have a Trump impersonation is Trump himself. You know, there's a lot of propaganda out there, and if you only get your news from Fox, then you're not understanding. And I mean, yeah, look, it pains me to watch Fox News because I have to deal with looking at Sean Hannity's Mr. Potato Head face, but I do it because you can't turn your back on information. Turning your back on information just makes you ignorant. Okay, Fade. So who is the Clinton News Network? MSNBC? CNN? Hmm. Fade, one of the ways you know someone is wrong is they insist on using names that are not real. It's like when somebody starts talking about the IOF as opposed to the IDF. I generally assume that that person is going to lie to me. So, whereas, yes, it may be funny to call it the Clinton News Network, and let's be clear, I was never a fan of Hillary. Okay? I don't feel Hillary Clinton was ever a legitimate presidential candidate. You know, that doesn't make me a. I mean, I'm very middle of the road, to be completely honest with you. But I can tell you, Hillary Clinton was a hill a lot of people wanted to die on. But that's part of. Uh, I assumed you were just saying something silly. What does FAUX stand for then? I mean, let's be honest here, Fade. You are identifying as a weirdo who likes to fight drugged up people in the arena. Yeah, no, I don't know how to pronounce fox. Fakes could be. You're the porcupine party. Okay. Yes. So you're deranged. Yeah. I remember supporting the porcupines, hoping that they would take something from the elephants. But when I saw their stance on minimum wage, I was like, okay, these people are crazy. I mean, understand something. Left wingers tend to live in the city. And because we live in the city, um, there isn't as much accountability. You know, if you live in the country where everybody knows each other, if Cletus steals Ezekiel's apple, the whole town will know about it in a few days. But here in Los Angeles, that's not how it works. Okay, yeah, I'm talking about tendencies. Although, I live in a ghetto. It's a Latino ghetto, but it's still ghetto. I mean, interestingly, I have some new neighbors who are Asians, but my Latino neighbors have all spoken to them and told them what a horrible person I am, so they refuse to speak to me. Which I mean, I'm fine with. Nothing bothers me anymore on that front. This thing, though, that cut on my finger, that's bothering me. What did you do to piss off everyone who lives around you? I'm the only white guy that lives on my street. What's up, Nathan? Good to see you back. Yeah, see, there's the thing. You're surrounded by lots of ethnicities, and you all get along. I'm the one person of my ethnicity on a street full of people who hate my ethnicity. I mean, everybody hated my brother. That was kind of the big thing. And for the most part, I took splash damage. Be flatly honest with you. But, you know, and you don't think it's your personality. Fade, Fade, do understand that they call me the gringo. They make racist jokes about me, and they abused my brother, who was mentally ill. So maybe they just hate the mentally ill. That's a possibility. But, you know, I have neighbors who have been in other neighborhoods where they were hated by everyone as well. Nathan Russell, that's so messed up. Yeah, it's like I have one neighbor, and one day I'd like to confront him, although he knows to keep far away from me. I want to run up to him and say, "So tell me, did you treat my brother like crap because he was mentally ill or because he was white? I mean, you could be a racist or just evil." But I mean, who was he? There was a famous author. What doesn't add up with my story, Fade? Well, Nathan Russell. Oh, I would pick maybe evil. You know, human beings are basically evil, and we should always struggle to be good. And that's just one of those basic points of life. Is that it's easy to be evil. It's fun to be evil. But, you know, if you keep being evil, eventually you run out of friends who aren't evil. You know, I used to have I used to have a neighbor. He had this dichondra lawn. It's a very water hungry plant. And every morning he would go out. What are you telling us? What did your family do to the folks living around them to cause this racist al- outfit behavior? You know, um, Fade, my neighbors had a habit of playing very loud music. And by loud music, I mean uh, it would shake the glass of my window at all hours of the day. And that really bothered my brother. Now, I'm going to grant you, my brother was a dick. But to be completely honest with you, they were always pretty nasty to my brother, even before he complained about their music. So, I mean, can't really can't really pin some. I mean, as I said, I used to have this neighbor lived across the street from me. He'd get out every morning to weed his dichondra lawn, and his rear end would hang out. And we always told him, cover your rear end, and he just wouldn't do it. Those are the kind of neighbors I have, the kind of people that have their old man rear end hanging out. So it's not just them being jerks to you for being YT. You were trying to set it up like that. You know, dude, I have tried to make peace with my neighbors. And eventually I found out it just wasn't worth it. Nathan Russell broke the glass. Not sure the reference. Ah, okay. So there was a playwright named Sam Shepard. He wrote a story or a play called Buried Child. Buried Child was a play about a family who the mom had gotten pregnant from one of her sons. And when the Nathan Russell, can I tell you something? You just did tell me something. You may tell me anything you wish. When the child that was the product of incest was born, the husband drowned it, buried it in the cornfield. Okay? So the story takes place years after this has happened, when, people have literally beaten the heck out of this old man, trying to get him to say where he buried this child. That's the name of the play. And he's being taken care of by the son that porked the mom that had the child. So it's a really screwed up play. And Shepard was a Californian. I don't know if he was a Los Angelino, but I'm told, I could be wrong. This is a story that was told to me by a teacher. So, he lived in a populated city, and he said that he wrote about his neighbors who were weirdos. You know, says he died in Kentucky. Mm. But he went to Mount San Antonio College. So yeah, for a while there, he lived in Los Angeles, and he wrote these plays about really messed up people. Nathan Russell, one of my eyes got hit with a charger. Are you all right, bro? But yeah, Sam Shepard wrote plays essentially about rural people. Shiva Shemitsu, hi. How are you? What's up? Did you get a new avatar there, Shiva? Eh. We were just talking about a someone who most people have probably never heard of because he's a playwright, Sam Shepard, who wrote stories about weirdos who were rural people in America. And he said that in reality, he wasn't writing about, people in Oklahoma. He was writing about people he knew in Los Angeles. And, that was kind of the point I was making is there are weirdos everywhere. Not all of them live on a farm. We just believe the weirdness on the farm. Nathan Russell, I can barely see out of it. Yeah, I mean, maybe you should go lie down, bro. Shiva Shim. I can never get Indian names. How was your day? Well, I met a very friendly man this morning who talked my ear off. Couldn't get a word in edgewise, but I learned a lot from that conversation. He was a line worker for Edison. So, Edison is the power company, and some people are blaming Edison for the Eaton fire. So, he was out there repairing and working on electrical equipment, trying to make sure, people still have light. He was a very nice guy, but he had a lot of things to say, and I very much enjoyed my conversation with him. So that was really good. The bad part was, of course, that, I was working out in the cold. Okay, so uh, Nathan Russell gave us the Wheel of Death, play button, cat in a box, and I don't know what those things are. And Shiva Shame Fu thumbs up. Why am I having so much trouble with that name? I used to have a girl I went to school with. Her name was Pooja, which is not the most elegant of Indian names, but it's certainly a wonderful name. I mean, Where's your cat missing the cuties? Yeah, you missed it. I had it sold. I had it sold in here earlier, and Isolde never comes into the videos. She just hates to cuddle, but she is such a pretty cat. I believe Kit is scratching herself in the background there. So, I mean, generally speaking, the cats crawl all over me when they're hungry. You can call me Mithu or Shivasha. OMG, you sold them all. No, they're here. They're just not being part of the video right now. Oh, Isolde. Isolde is a name. There was a story called Tristan and Isolde, which it's before there was Romeo and Juliet. There was Tristan and Isolde. Isolde is her name. There was a Tristan, but I'm reasonably sure my neighbors took care of him. Are people allowed to get their properties yet? I saw the press conference when they took your mayor's mic away to prevent her from spewing stupidity. I didn't see that press conference. Although the current mayor of the city of Los Angeles is certainly not helping the situation. Uh, Mitsu, okay. Nathan Russell, brat, 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 taboo, boom, 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 brat, 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 taboo. Okay. Mitsu, I heard sold, so thought I thought you sold out, but no, nice name. Um, yeah, I can see how you would make that mistake. Fade, it was hilarious. Yes, I mean, do understand that California politicians tend to be quite entertaining. I mean, my old man used to work in the heart of Los Angeles, and every now and again he would take me to his work. I don't remember why, but I think it's along the 101 freeway. for the wrong reasons, though. Anyway, I believe it's along the 101 freeway. There used to be these beautiful murals of space and Roman ruins, and I always just really loved those murals, and now they're just covered in graffiti. And when I pass through the heart of Los Angeles, my soul bleeds. I cannot tell you how much pain um, it causes me to see the city just falling into ruins and people living in tents, and they've had to set up more and more temporary restrooms for the public. It's really terrible. Watching Gavin dancing and smiling in the middle of the disaster was entertaining and terrifying at the same time, like Nero and Rome or Cressius. Mitsu, whoa, last time you said that you won't laugh, but today I seen your smile. It's so nice. Just keep smiling away. Yeah, um, not a big smiler, which is sad because smiling actually opens up blood vessels to the brain. Nathan Russell, here's a story. This one kid was going to his house. He saw his parents on the floor, dead, with scratches all over them. The kid was terrified. It hit under his bed, but the monster found him and ate him up. Russell, I wish the monsters had been under my bed. They were out walking around pretending to be people. But yeah, understand something about this whole fire business. The thing with the fire hydrants going dry, there appears to have been something abnormal about that. Don't be very serious. Smile. Smile, Tanya, smile. You know this whole world is a great world after a while. Eh, it's easier to smile when I have a kitty, and my kitties are not with me. But the fire hydrants running dry was a big news story in Southern California here, and strict officer, yeah, they tell me I'm tough as nails. Nathan Russell, what? Um, yeah, if you watch the news, there were so many fires that the water hydrants ran dry, and it's like $16 million cut from the budget in just a year or two. That's a factor. Illegal and homeless meth camps are a problem too. Yeah, we shouldn't be cutting from our firefighting budget, particularly now. And there are a lot of issues with that. Nathan Russell pretended to be a person. The monster was a skinwalker if it could pretend to be a person. There are a lot of monsters in this world that can pretend to be a person. Mithu, okay, had your dinner. It's breakfast time where I live. Look, Nathan Russell, if demons exist, I can guarantee you I've shaken one's hand. And why do I say that? Is because I met a thing that was destroying a Methodist church in Los Angeles. And for some unexplainable reason, this thing, no matter how many times he met me, could never recognize me, though he was very close to my father. He had very cold hands. Well, actually, Mitsu, it's almost lunchtime where I live. I'm in Los Angeles. It's 11:17. So people have had their brunch because that's a thing in Los Angeles. They have their brunch, and it's perfectly acceptable to have a whiskey after brunch if you're not driving. Nathan Russell, OMG. Um, OMG, what, bro? We're having a very weird conversation. Annalicia, hi again. What's the story, Morning Glory? Fade. I drove through some fog that looked like eight, a 18th century girl in a dress once in the middle of the night. Fade, were you smoking something? Because if you were, it was probably some good stuff. Kit, baby. Sweetheart. Everybody wants to see your pretty face. I bet you as soon as I'm off the live stream, my animals will swarm me. Fade. I'm always high, but that's because I have a medical card. Yes, but what were you smoking when you saw this mist girl? I mean, white lady specters are a thing, but they don't normally inhabit roads. I mean, interesting parallel for you, and it may have nothing to do with each other. But three of the most common specters, phantoms, are Mitsu, especially me, wants to see that pretty face. Yeah. But I only imbibe in weed. Yes, well, as I say, the three most common phantoms, or three of the most common phantoms, are shadow people, white ladies, and red ladies. And cultures across the world, the first two colors we identify are black and white, shadow and light. And the third color every culture identifies is always red. That night, think I was sober. See, you think you were sober, but you weren't. Oh, I don't like being sober anyway. But I'm always sober because I never get drunk. I saw a shadow man once, don't believe it was a ghost. Um, just speculating there, Fade. Shadow people are not ghosts. They are a. Mitsu, do you believe in ghosts? Have you seen it? Um, okay. Do you mean have I seen a ghost or have I seen the film It? Because I have seen strange things, but nothing I could definitively classify as a ghost. Lord Bluemint, hi. What's up, bro? Fade, you said it like a declarative statement, though. Fade. Fade! No! Thufa is a Hakonin now! No. It was a joke. Lord Blue Mint. I am still coughing, but only a little bit. Everything else has healed. That's good to hear. Real life ghosts, not movie. Mitsu, I actually used to work at a facility where people saw a red lady, and they didn't know about the red lady specter. I also worked at a facility that was apparently inhabited by a incubus, and multiple women reported being attacked by the incubus years apart. Now, in the place where I saw the red lady, there was one location in the building where I always felt an intense fear, and I don't know why. But I didn't see any ghosts. The Red Lady specters are believed to be the ghosts of women who died in violence. They're often accompanied by the smell of rotting meat or raw meat. In this particular facility, there was a man in the lunchroom, and he said the room filled with fog suddenly, and he saw a woman in a red dress. Valentine. Oh, Valentine is causing trouble. Now, he didn't describe smelling any blood or anything like that. And so far as I'm aware, that was the most intense sighting. But as they say, shadow people are beings that feed off of fear. They cause you to be afraid of them, and it is that fear that they are supposedly fed upon. White ladies, normally just associated with ballrooms and dancing. It's a woman in a white dress. You often can't see her well. Nice names, Valentine and Sold. Uh, I'm told I am very good at naming animals. Valentine has a heart on his nose. Well, sort of a heart on his nose, which is why I call him that. But he certainly thinks he's a Romeo. But yeah, so many cats, so little time. When you talk about ghosts, but suddenly sound next to you got scared. No, I know what's making the noise. And she's not cuddly. Sweetheart. Sweetheart. Why don't you come over here, sweetheart? No, not over there. Come over here. You know, I once wanted to make a movie with a friend of mine called Nothing Scares Me. But we never got it off the ground because he was trying to build up accolades for his film Angel's Bounty. Don't eat my journalism trophy. No, I said don't eat my journalism trophy. Why do they want to eat my journalism trophy? Ugh. Cats are such strange things. Okay, I believe that's night. Mitsu, I got scared. I'll be very interested in listening to ghosts. Or ghost. Interesting in listening, but scared. Well, look, I have a degree in psychology, all right? And the human perception of ghosts is a branch of psychology. It's called parapsychology. And one of the things about ghost hunters I find is they're not terribly professional. But now, as a man of science, I cannot rule out the existence of ghosts. And a man who's done a lot of reading, I could not tell you whether a ghost is a soul or a spirit. And that's because, soul and spirit are both different things in the Abrahamic religions. Typically speaking, a soul, when you read the Bible, whenever they use the word soul, they refer to a living person. And it's actually said that when someone repents, for example, their spirit is renewed, but their soul is not. So, we tend to use spirit and soul interchangeably, but they're not interchangeable words. So the question always becomes, what is a ghost? And some people have said that a ghost is a mental photograph. Some people have said that, a ghost is a person that cannot pass from one world to the next. But do understand, it's like saying something is a ghost does imply that that thing was once human. Okay? When we find actual studies about ghosts, the thing to do is we refer to them as phantoms. And why do we refer to them as phantoms? Because we don't know what they are. You know, there was one case where there was a room where you kept hearing noises, particularly during rainstorms, and you would hear people talking and music playing. And it turned out that somehow these voices were imprinted in the sandstone walls. And these things would actually be considered, until they are identified, as Class 2 phantoms. See, a Class 1 phantom is a static example. If you have a photograph with what you believe is a ghost in it, that's a Class 1 phantom. It doesn't move, it doesn't change, it's just there. So any artifact that is static, that does not move, that does not change, you know, there is a church that has a burnt footprint, paw print from a dog on its door. This is a thing, Black Shuck, the dog, the demon dog, it left a Class 1 phantom behind, okay? Then you have a Class 2 phantom, which is a recording. It's like there was an old fort, you know, and people saw that they'd say that there were soldiers walking around the fort, but there were no soldiers present because the fort had been abandoned. These are Class 2 phantoms. They're recordings. They do the same thing over and over again. So if you hear someone saying a single word, that's a Class 2 phantom. Now, a Class 3 phantom is like my kitty knocking over cans of venom. I should really clean up the cans in here. A Class 3 phantom is something that can interact with you. You ask a question and it answers, it's a Class 3 phantom. Okay, so been at this for an hour, almost exactly. And it looks like everybody left. Is anyone still there? Give me a thumbs up if you're still there. think everybody went. All right, well. All right, Mitchu, you're still here. I think you're the only one, though. I think everybody else left. It's just you and me. So, Mitchu, have you ever seen a ghost? Or a ghost like object? Or perhaps a djinn? Oh, that would be scary. Not as scary as my sister, though. I mean, that would be terrifying. Jinn would run in fear. Do you know the IDS? I don't know what that means. IDS. IDS? Huh. You saw a ghost? What did the ghost say? Or do? IDS, Intrusion Detection System. Yeah, dealt with a couple of those. Have myself a cat named Ghost, but he's a little shy. Well, he's a lot shy. The Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. Does that scare you? I mean, I used to know a Mormon priest, and then he did something that questioned his faith. He read the Book of Mormon. Please don't want ghost topic. Okay, well, I mean, what do you want to talk about? I mean, I'm here. I know many strange things. No, it's not scary me. I'm asking, do you know? I know, about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints a little bit, and I know about ghosts a little bit. Not LDS is ghost. Um. Okay, so the Latter day Saints are a religious organization who believe that the second coming happened, and I believe they feel that the Native Americans were the Canaanites. What you know about the LDS? Yeah, okay, um, typically speaking, a member of the LDS would tell you that you should read the book of the words of Mormon Young. Excuse me. As opposed to the Book of Mormon. Now, mind you, on my father's side, my family can be tracked back to the original Mormons, the ones who settled Salt Lake City, believing it was the Garden of Eden. which is weird. And somewhere in my past, I think my possibly great grandfather was one of 52 children by 26 wives, or so I've been told. How true that is, well, my family's never been known for the truth. So yeah, I know a fair amount about the Mormons. They're an interesting breed. Is that weird? Um, in America, we don't normally practice polygamy, which is uh, having multiple wives. In the case of the Mormons, I believe the menfolk died off to a certain extent, and um, that's why they practice polygamy. But I mean, it's very abnormal for Americans. I'm a LDS member. Okay. Where is your branch now? I mean, you're not in Salt Lake City, are you? My grandfather was born in Salt Lake City, which is the home of the original home of the Mormons, the LDS. And the LDS are really into genealogy, and they don't believe in caffeine. We had lots of branches in worldwide. Yeah, um, there are a lot of Mormons out there. I'm from Bangalore. Yeah, we won't take coffee. I mean, there's a legitimacy to not taking coffee, although personally, I don't think I could handle it. I mean, I used to drink exclusively equal exchange coffee, with which you are promised um, that it comes from a worker owned co op and that the people that made the coffee were paid a fair price for it. So it's somewhat more expensive coffee, but I mean, I'm really serious about my coffee. Next, we planning to come Salt Lake City Temple. Well, I mean, you will meet a lot of members of my family then. Not members of my family that I've met, but there are a lot. There are a lot of Neals. So many Neals in Salt Lake City. Although I have to admit, the Great Salt Lake is apparently drying up, which is a real tragedy. You know, Interestingly, most farmed fish are fed off the brine shrimp that are harvested from the Salt Lake. No, I'm not in Salt Lake City. I'm in Los Angeles. I have only been to Salt Lake City, I believe, once, possibly twice. And I mean, we're talking like 30 years ago. But I remember looking out over the Salt Lake and seeing the lightning strikes, which it was interesting. You know, I mean, I used to go on these long driving vacations, but how long it take to your place to there? Hmm. Well, let's see. So I think it's a 2 hour flight. Let's see. Okay. So at the present, it's about 10 hours of driving between Salt Lake City and myself. I don't remember why we went to Salt Lake City on that occasion, but we were on our way to Pennsylvania. It is currently 11:44 here in beautiful Los Angeles. I'm getting some weird messages. No, Mishu, I can honestly say I don't know Bangalore. Or Bangalore. So, I mean, you're talking about the capital of Karnataka? From my work, I'm getting weird messages. I mean, I really should be sleeping right now. I'm getting to that point. Just drowsy enough. All right, Michu. It looks like the live stream has kind of dried up, and I've got to use the restroom. So I'm gonna go. It was great talking to you again. It is almost noon. I sleep during the day. So I gotta be going. Talk to you beautiful folks later. I'm Richard.